Roy Jones is a young man with extraordinary talent, incredible hand speed, foot speed. I think his power is very deceptive and not really appreciated. He's very explosive, especially inside the left hook.
He's a very unorthodox fighter. He does things his own way. I don't think he even knows what he's going to do, but boy, it's effective. And look how cool Roy Jones is.
Hello. Male chickens possess congenital aggression towards all other males of the same species. Thus, in order to pass on their genes and their genes alone, they look to eliminate all other males they come in presence of. In the world of the game chicken, there was no room for fear. You either win, or it's all over, and so putting everything on the line for victory, that is what these noble creatures taught Roy. Spreading his wings, feinting the aggression of a game chicken. James thinks it's a joke, but he's mistaken. This is Roy, bringing his roots into the arena. Roy, feeding Tony a claw full of enlightenment. Learn how to see. Realize that everything connects to everything else. The wisest and noblest teacher is nature itself. Leonardo da Vinci. Now we see Roy's high-risk fluttering style, wing in one hand, claw in the other. He is the fearless game chicken, and in that state of composure, in that state of passion, the Japanese will call it mushin no mind, or no-mindedness, which martial artists are said to enter during combat. But of course, here, we've come to better understand this concept as flow state, when conscious awareness and action merge as one. Roy is in the moment, rapidly articulating between skills he's diligently trained his entire life. Leonardo da Vinci, where the spirit does not work with the hand, there can be no art. But in Roy's case, all we see is soul. He is an artist, seamlessly executing his martial art, authentically expressing his boxing. This now leads to his lead, perhaps his most influential tool in the arena. His signature deceptive left hook. Roy's utilization of the left hook, his lead overall. At times, it feels as though his left is all he needs. This is due to his father's harsh and unorthodox training regimens. When he saw Roy become too dependent on his power hand, he would tie one arm behind Roy's back and force him to spar opponents with only his left as punishment. Creativity is typically cultivated through pain and suffering. That environmental pressure forces us to be more innovative. Post-war economic boom, the golden age of capitalism following World War II, an ulterior example. The struggle Roy Jones's father put him under, that fire, is what forged the creative use of his left claw. Springing with no gauge for distance and landing precise with his left, often from weird angles, Roy establishes pressure, having his opponents cautious of his lead, which opens them up to his true power hand, which, again, allows him to feign his power hand, which further opens them up to his lead hook. Endless feedback loop. They get further blindsided to the power hand. It's believed that Roy can only get away with this crazy unorthodox game of roulette because he's so fast. He is insanely fast. Definitely, genetic aptitude plays a role in his otherworldly speed. But what about his hands-down style? Like a game of chicken, we often find his wings and claws sprout in the flash of a moment, only to be tucked away till then. Having the hands lower may leave one susceptible to getting caught, but footwork and distance management are the most effective forms of defense, which Roy heightens with his hands down. Lowered hands means more centered balance, and balance gives you better footing to move from. It allows you to more effectively shift your weight. This partially explains why Dominic Cruz, despite having a physical disadvantage in most of his fights, was untouchable for most of his career, winning 13 fights in a row, adopting this Muhammad Ali-inspired float like a butterfly style. He has nowhere near the athletic aptitude of Roy Jones. But now understanding this balance is part of the reason why Roy can always move off of center line. It's why he can shift himself into a superior angle of attack with lateral movement, but sting like a bee. Lowered hands means more distance needed to travel, but tension in the deltoid muscle is released because you are no longer using them to keep your hands up. The more relaxed the muscles are, the more efficiently kinetic energy can transfer from the hips and pivot into the strike, which naturally means more speed. So if we take training and genetic aptitude and apply it through a more fluid, relaxed medium, more fluid kinetic chain, we have Roy's insanely fast snap from either hand. It's speed you just cannot mess with, which in turn also aided his defense. The more threatening speed, thus power kept his opponents hesitating, and the increased oomph behind his lead helped maintain the distance otherwise. They come in, pop. This relaxed and fluid snap was also constantly beating his opponents to the punch as well, even outclassing the boxing prodigy, James Toney. Roy was just on another level. Side note, Roy does have a high guard as well. He does know how to keep his hands up. It is definitely a fundamental I believe everyone should learn before finding their own unique style. Roy Jones, a 6-time former world champion in 4 weight classes and the only boxer in history to start off his professional career at light middleweight, then go on to win a heavyweight title, defeating a 226-pound world champion John Ruiz. That is just absurd. a testament to Roy's next level tier of skill, capable of overcoming even the odds. From his mental aptitude to his physical, he is the embodiment of a warrior overcoming great suffering. His father, often forcing the image of a caged bird as a metaphor to his own predicament. Getting hurt or worse might have been better than the life I was living. I spent all my life in my dad's cage. I could never be 100% of who I was until I left, but because of him, nothing bothers me. I'll never face anything stronger and harder than what I already have. To that end, this plane will place before you trials and tribulations, and it may not make sense right now. It may leave you in manic questioning its absurdity, but I promise you, one day it will, so as long as you choose to continue fighting. That is the true lesson we may learn from this legendary game bird, Roy Jones. If you'd like more work from me, please subscribe, it definitely helps my channel. Smash the like button if you enjoyed, it's good karma, and until next time, peace.